So here today I'm with Dr. Robert Lyman, professor, renowned war historian from England. And sir, I want to ask you a few questions. I think this is your second visit to our village. So your first experience has been very special, to say the least. What is your experience so far during your second visit?
Well, as a historian, it's been fantastic to be able to come here and see where the battle took place. It's also fantastic to meet the people who experienced the battle, and to meet Chaksam Nagas and to meet the people of this village. But actually, it's been really important for us to see how enthusiastic you are and the village has been to us. So we've been very well looked after. The village is clearly very desirous of visitors and of showing off their Naga hospitality, and we've appreciated it massively. It's been a great joy to be here.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your opinion. And my second question is, how significant is Eastern India, particularly Kohima, Jessami and Kharasom, for the World War II legacy? Are they recognized enough?
Well, there are two questions there. The first is, how important was this area for the war? It was critical for turning back the Japanese. It was one of the great turning points of the war, and Jessami and Kharasom and Sangshak and Kohima were all fundamental parts of the destruction of the Japanese invasion of India in 1944, Operation Fugo. So it's very important, and from that point on, the Japanese never won a battle. It was a battle in which the Indian Army primarily, but also with the British Army, turned back the Japanese, about 87%. So the vast majority of troops fighting this war were Indian soldiers. And all of the troops fighting here at Jessami and Kharasom were men of the Assam Regiment. And it's really important for modern India to recognise the role that Indian soldiers played in those great victories against the Japanese. So the second question you ask is the extent to which we in the world remember the battles in the Northeast. The truth is we don't. They're forgotten. They were largely forgotten then, they're largely forgotten now, and I believe it's incumbent on all of us to make as much noise as we can to explain how important these battles were, to enable people to remember what war is like and to ensure it doesn't happen again. War is a very important feature of our history in this part of the world, and what we mustn't do is allow the people of India, people of Manipur, the people of Nagaland to forget it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's very interesting as well, though it's very sad for us to hear that it's been forgotten about our struggles and sacrifices. But through your communication and your through coming here by you all, I think we promote this. We explore this place as well, and then I hope in the coming days in the future that it recognize us more.
Well, and I hope so too. I think that's exactly what we all ought to be aspiring for.
And so here's my third question. When we talk about World War II, do you also think about the innocent victims in the form of communities that are absolutely unaware about the affairs of the war, but nevertheless had to face the consequence? Do you think they should be compensated or paid for the hurt or loss and horror they endure during that period?
It's a very interesting question, and again there are two questions in your question. The first is, do I remember the innocent victims? Yes, we absolutely need to remember that in this particular case, the Naga people didn't invite this war. This was a war fought by other nations on their soil. But nevertheless, it was a war for the security and sovereignty of India. So the Naga people need to accept their role in the defence of India was a very important one. Even though the innocent people here in Jessami, for instance, didn't ask for the war came to them. The second question is a bit more complex, but I would say no. We have to ask who was responsible for the war. The Second World War in this region was the result of aggrandizement and militarism by Japan. At some stage, we have to put the war behind us and regard it as history, and not continue to live in it and continue to refight it. We need to put it behind us. We need to make the best of our lives now by our own endeavours, and not seek redress for that our fathers and our forefathers didn't seek themselves. So that's my answer to reparations.
Okay, thank you so much. Here's my fourth question. Do you foresee a continued relationship between the families of soldiers who fought and died here and the innocent locals who become part of the war that are not theirs? Do you have any ideas or suggestions for what the future will be like?
Well, I hope that there will be continuing dialogue between our countries and within India itself, and between those descendants of families who fought here, because it's a very important part of our heritage. And that's the first response. The second is to say, well, we can do this by visits, by the hospitality you've demonstrated to us this time and last November, and in the future. I'll be here 2 or 3 times more this year. But also by communication, by awareness, by teaching in schools, just by encouraging a sense of identity and history in our communities, both in the United Kingdom and in here, will do much to advance the schools.
Okay. So here's my last question. What message would you like to give, to convey from this tour?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone in Jessami and the surrounding villages who have made our trip so special. It's very, very special for us to come so far and to see this site of the battle in 1944. And you've looked after us incredibly well. It's a beautiful village. It's perfectly prepared. It's the accommodation is wonderful, and we enjoy being here. So thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for sharing us your thoughts. I hope you guys have a good evening ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.